The Earworm Brain. Why that annoying song won't leave your head. Your brain's uninvited, relentless DJ. Ah, the earworm. That insidious melodic villain that creeps into your brain like a squatter who refuses to pay rent. You know the drill. One moment you're blissfully navigating your day, and the next, your internal radio station has decided that Baby Shark, or that one cheesy 80s power ballad is now the official soundtrack to your existence. On loop, forever. It's not just a song, it's a relentless, tiny sonic assault, a cerebral hostage situation where your brain is the captive and a single chorus is the negotiator demanding constant replay. Far from being a glitch in the matrix, these musical mind hijackings or involuntary musical imagery, IMI, if you want to sound fancy and still be annoyed, are a surprisingly common and utterly infuriating peek into the wonderfully weird workings of our gray matter. What is this sonic scourge? An earworm isn't just remembering a tune. Oh no, that would be far too polite. An earworm is that moment when you're convinced your phone is secretly playing a song, but then you realize the stereo is off, the headphones are unplugged, and the music is, in fact, emanating directly from your skull. It's a phantom melody, a 15 to 30 second loop of sheer, maddening catchiness that feels less like a memory and more like an uninvited, slightly aggressive house guest who brought their own boombox. They're usually upbeat, ridiculously familiar, and possess a melodic simplicity that makes them stick like superglue to your cerebellum. Your brain's auditory cortex, the VIP section for sound processing, acts like it's throwing a private concert even when no one else is around. It's like your internal hard drive has decided to play its favorite corrupt file on repeat, just to mess with you. The brain's sticky tape and cognitive voids. So why does your brain decide to become a personal, inescapable Spotify playlist of despair? The leading theories suggest it's a glorious mess of neurological misfires and a brain that simply abhors a vacuum. When you hear a song, your brain doesn't just listen. It essentially lays down a sticky musical footprint. For tunes that are particularly bop-worthy or have a certain je ne sais quoi, that footprint becomes less of a print and more of a full-blown neural dance routine. Earworms are born when these over-enthusiastic neural circuits spontaneously burst into song, usually when your brain is idling, like a car stuck in traffic. Boredom is an earworm's favorite playground. Your brain hates being understimulated. It sees a cognitive gap, essentially. A moment where you're not actively wrestling with quantum physics or remembering your grocery list, and decides to fill that void with the most insidiously catchy tune it can find. It's like your brain is saying, "You're not thinking about anything important? Excellent. Here's that jingle from the shampoo commercial. You're welcome." The secret sauce of stickiness. Not all songs are earworm material. Some are just songs. But others, they're like tiny musical ninjas, engineered for mental infiltration. Firstly, catchiness. We're talking about melodies with unique twists, familiar yet surprising patterns, and tempos that just scream, "dance party" in your head. Think repetitive hooks, strong rhythms, and a melodic line that just screams, "sing along," whether you want to or not. Secondly, repetition. The more you hear a song, the more ingrained its neural pathways become, like a well-worn groove on a vinyl record. It's a vicious cycle. The more you hate it, the more you hear it, the more it sticks. Thirdly, emotional baggage. Songs tied to strong emotions or significant life events are super glue for your brain. That cringe-worthy prom song, likely to pop up when you're feeling nostalgic or mortified. Lastly, the cognitive context is a huge factor. As mentioned, a bored brain is a prime target, but so is a stressed brain. If you're anxious, your mind might latch onto a repetitive tune as a bizarre coping mechanism, like a broken record playing during a crisis. It's a weird form of self-soothing, or perhaps just your brain trying to distract itself from real problems with imaginary ones. The itch-scratch loop, brain's version of torture. This is where the true comedic tragedy of the earworm lies. The itch scratch loop. Your brain, bless its overachieving heart, hears a musical fragment and senses an incomplete pattern. It's like it has a missing puzzle piece, and it must find it. The itch is this insatiable desire for completion. The scratch is then replaying the fragment, hoping this time it'll magically resolve the entire melody, but it never does. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. The loop only reinforces itself, creating a never-ending cycle of auditory frustration. It's a neurological version of Sisyphus rolling a boulder up a hill, except the boulder is a snippet of a pop song, and the hill is your sanity. Your brain desperately wants to finish the song, but for some reason, it's stuck on repeat, like a broken CD player from the 90s. When your brain throws a mini-rave, our emotional state is surprisingly good at calling up these unwanted guests. Feeling stressed? Your brain might decide it's time for a mini-rave featuring that song you secretly hated from last year as summer charts. Anxiety can turn your brain into a DJ with a very limited, very annoying playlist. Even just recent exposure can be enough. One rogue supermarket speaker playing a snippet of a cheesy commercial can embed that jingle deep into your auditory memory, ready to ambush you at the most inconvenient moment. It's as if your brain's internal filing system has a replay immediately sticky note on certain musical folders, especially the ones you've just tried to delete. Desperate measures to silence the song. So how do we perform an exorcism on these musical demons? Desperate times call for desperate measures, and scientists have actually looked into this. One popular method is cognitive distraction. Essentially, give your brain a new, challenging mental task. Try solving a truly mind-bending Sudoku, calculate the square root of 12,345 in your head, or write a haiku about your deepest fears. The goal is to occupy your working memory so thoroughly that the earworm can find any free real estate to set up its sound system. Another counterintuitive, and sometimes disastrous approach is to give in. Listen to the entire song. Yes, the whole thing. The theory is that by finally completing the song, you give your brain the resolution it craves. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it just reinforces the loop with an extra dose of bitterness. Oddly, chewing gum has also been suggested, possibly because the chewing action interferes with auditory processing or just gives your mouth something else to do besides hum. Whatever you do, don't try to suppress it. That's like telling a toddler not to look at a shiny new toy. It only makes them focus on it harder. Acknowledge the earworm, roll your eyes, and then try to trick your brain into thinking about something else. The benign annoyance, mostly. For most of us, earworms are just a quirky, if incredibly annoying part of being human. They're the equivalent of a tiny, irritating pebble in your shoe. Uncomfortable but rarely debilitating. However, for a select few, this repetitive music can become genuinely distressing, morphing into a more pervasive form of intrusive thought, possibly linked to conditions like OCD or chronic anxiety. But for the average brain, it's just proof that our internal world is a chaotic, hilarious, and sometimes musically tormented place. It's a testament to the brain's incredible ability to store and recall musical information, even when we'd rather it didn't. Our brain's goofy playlist. Ultimately, the earworm brain reminds us that our minds are anything but predictable. They're complex, goofy, and sometimes choose the absolute worst soundtrack for our lives. That annoying song stuck on endless loop isn't a sign of a failing brain. It's a testament to a brain that's ridiculously efficient at memory storage, aggressively committed to pattern completion, and has a rather mischievous sense of humor. So, the next time that catchy jingle from a dubious commercial becomes your uninvited mental companion, just sigh, roll your eyes, and appreciate the strange, funny, and relentlessly musical genius of your own brain. It's just trying to entertain itself, even if its taste in music is questionable.